Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Cody here coming at you with another ranking video. I'm doing something that I didn't expect that I was going to be doing today, so we're kind of doing things a little audible. We're going to be taking a look at the Valley League Baseball, which is a collegiate wood bat league in the Shenandoah region of Virginia, which is really cool. This came to me unexpected thanks to MiLB Hatbilly, who I've mentioned before on this channel when I was talking about the Appalachian League. Fantastic channel, knows a lot about baseball, great content. Love watching his stuff, and I really appreciate the recommendation. I was actually planning on doing the Prospect League. The only reason I went ahead and kind of jumped the gun a little bit today, the Prospect League is actually adding a team to their lineup beginning play in 2023 in Jackson, Tennessee. There's kind of they have like a final 5-team lineup for what their team name is going to be there in Jackson, and you can check that out on their website. It's just playballjackson.com. Link is in the description. So when they officially announce their team name, I'll go ahead and do the Prospect League just to kind of make it more relevant. I'm very excited to do the Valley League today, though. Again, it is in Virginia, which is sweet because I spent a lot of my time growing up in Northern Virginia in the city of Manassas, and I haven't been back really since I went for a few days in 2017. And so it's kind of my old stomping grounds before I moved on to Montana. And I love it. I miss it a lot. I went to elementary there. Shout out to Yorkshire Elementary. This is kind of a cool time for me to go back and sort of revisit, in a way, my original home state of Virginia. So very cool. There are 11 teams total in this collegiate wood bat league. So as always, we're going to start with what I consider the worst and go to the first, which is going to go ahead and start us off with the Covington Lumberjacks. There is a lot happening with this logo. There's so many little textures and details and little pieces, and it's just very clashing. We've got the stitches for a baseball in the background with the pinstripes in this diamond shape. We've got stars on either side, all these bats kind of below the lumberjack guy. And then we've got this banner with home plate on it, which, why? Because the actual team name that says Covington Lumberjacks doesn't fit in that banner at all. The team name just sort of arches over the whole front part. What's with that banner? Why do we even need it? Why do we need half these things? It's just very clashing and chaotic. The Lumberjack himself is very well drawn and designed, but it just doesn't really fit the vibe for being a baseball logo. It's way too detailed and way too textured. It's great artwork, like, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't really fit in a baseball sort of theme or vibe in any way. Just too much. It feels stressful, this logo does. And the same can be said for our next logo, number 10, the Woodstock River Bandits. It's a little bit kind of chaotic. There's a lot going on here, but it's very much toned down from the last one that we just saw. I really like the colors. There's, that green and orange with black and white trim going on. Look very nice. And the bandit guy himself, it's like the bandit is a baseball. And so that's kind of cool. It's not like a human representation of the mascot. It's like a evil looking baseball, and I like that. The one thing that's really bringing me down is that, there's a lot of text going on. We can eliminate the word baseball down there at the bottom because we see a baseball field, so we don't need to see the word baseball. And then we actually have the governing body down there at the bottom too, the NACSB, which is the National Alliance of College Summer Baseball. That's the parent organization that oversees many of these collegiate, like, wood bat leagues that I've ranked. That's definitely a choice. I don't know if it's a good one or not. I could do without it personally. That would be like if the Detroit Tigers, as an example, decided to have the Major League Baseball logo down there at the bottom of their logo. It's interesting. All right, and now we've got the Strasburg Express. This is, again, like a pretty busy, sort of detailed logo, but we're getting better with that through this league. I like the big old baseball in the background with this train kind of flowing in the foreground. I love the purple, too, of the text with Express. Purple is such an underutilized and underappreciated color in sports logos, so love seeing that, and it looks great with that black train. I'm not in love with the font choice for Strasburg. It's not really textured or stylized in any unique way, so could do without that, but overall this is pretty cool. I'm into it. That's going to take us next to the Waynesboro Generals. This logo is really interesting, and I'm not quite sure what we're going for here. We've got our little general guy is basically just like a helmet with a face and like a pair of underwear and a pair of sneakers is all I see here. It's very interesting. This is a very kind of unique little cartoony sort of guy. I don't really have much else to say, honestly. It's an interesting choice that's going to be the little logo guy. If you click on their website, you'll see this logo, which is a little different, but it's kind of the same energy. He just kind of has more like a shiny sort of Elvis kind of thing going on.
So I guess I'll just give you some money and you can give me these shoes and...
You know, I know it seems so strange.
Yeah, so I'd just rather buy them from you straight up.
Yeah, I know. I wish it could be that easy, but...
I wish too, but you're making it extremely difficult for me. I'm just trying to get these shoes back to my house so I can wear them.
And it's interesting. I keep using the word interesting, but I can't really think of anything else to say. It's definitely a decision to kind of have this as your little dude. He's sort of cartoony, he's not really fierce, and he's not really that cute either, in my opinion. I don't know, there were a lot of decisions going into this being the logo. Not really what I would expect. All right, and now we've got the Front Royal Cardinals. Props to this team, for one, for doing something different with using the name Cardinals. When we're talking about baseball, you know, for me, like, my mind immediately goes to the St. Louis Cardinals, which is a huge franchise. And it's really easy to mimic something along those lines. Oh, that's my cat sneezing. Bless you, Marty. I can really appreciate and respect that. My thing is, this just looks hand-drawn, and it doesn't feel finished. The Cardinal has no eyes, and so it doesn't really have much by way of, like, facial expression. And even if you look closely at the FR, it looks like it was kind of done with like a pencil and marker. You know, and that's cool because that's how most logos should start. You sort of start with drawing it out, and then you kind of flesh it out by adding detail, adding and subtracting different little elements. You know, that was definitely done here, but it feels like it just wasn't finished. So there's a lot of room to work with here. Like, I want to like this more, but it just doesn't feel polished, and you know, even like looking at the top of the Cardinals head is just kind of weirding me out a little bit. And I want it to be better than it is because it has so much going for it. You know, it definitely has like the potential to be something better. So I would love a little bit more attention. Let's go back to the drawing board on this and kind of finish this up. All right, now we've got the Staunton Braves. This one's cool. This kind of gives me like a Texas Ranger sort of vibe to it. Got the red on top with the blue on bottom, all in a round baseball element. It looks like a very classic, but also a modern looking baseball logo. This sits right in the middle where I feel that it should be. Really nothing super positive, nothing super negative or constructive to say about it. I really like this. And next up, we've got the Newmarket Rebels. This is very, very interesting. This gives me like very old kind of collegiate, maybe like a SEC, like an Ole Miss Rebel kind of looking logo. You know what I'm talking about. You'll know exactly what I'm referencing when I'm talking about this with those old collegiate logos. The puffy cheeks is kind of like a big indicator of a logo in that style. Overall, I think this is great. This is actually a really fun logo to use because you don't really see logos like this anymore. So I really appreciate this. This is something like, even though it's quite old looking, it's kind of fresh in that regard because you just never see this anymore. All right, and next up, got the Harrisonburg Turks. Wow, there's so much I could say. There's so many things kind of coming to mind right now, and it's hard to even begin to start talking about this. I like this so much because I really like the Toledo Mud Hens, and that's a logo. If you know it, you know it. This specific version of this logo, the image that I'm showing you here, is quite pixelated. It's the best one that I could find. It's the highest res logo that I could find, but it is quite pixelated, so I do apologize for that. This logo is crazy and funky and weird, and I love it. I don't know what to tell you. I really love this logo. I love the simplicity. It only uses a few colors. The rest of it is just black and white. It might benefit from a few more colors or a little bit more kind of textures going through, because it does look very two-dimensional and flat, and just, you know, we really only have red and yellow, and they're very just bold. And I think that kind of works in a lot of ways, but it would be kind of fun to kind of experiment and try maybe some different colors, some different textures. But overall, I gotta say, this is a pretty fun logo. All right, and next up, we've got the Cannons. This logo is badass. I really, really, really like this. It's a big old baseball shooting out of this thing. He's got a lot of intensity, and he's very tough and fierce, as he should be, because it's a cannon. It's like shooting the opposition. I'll be honest with you though, I really have no idea what this big like lowercase e is that's going on in the background. In fact, it kind of cuts off like his left wheel, and I don't really know what that wheel is falling into. There's kind of like a negative space there. I really don't know what this represents. I wish I did, because it's the one thing that's kind of bothering me. I don't feel that this needs like something in the background to kind of stand out. You know, that kind of like that brown E, I'm just gonna keep calling it an E, is sort of drowning this cannon, and it's like suffocating it in a way, and I don't like that. I want him to sort of stand out and, you know, be like the full center of your attention. Not into that background. I don't really know what's going on there. If you know what's happening and you can explain that, I would love to know. Overall, I will say that this is Very, very cool. It just doesn't need that in the background. Get rid of it. All right, in the number 2 spot, I've got the Charlottesville Tom Sox. This looks very similar to the Braves that we just looked at a little bit ago, in the sense that you've got like the location and then the team name down here, and then you've got some stuff like a team logo in the middle. I just feel that this one is a little bit more polished and kind of a little bit more modern too. This looks like it could be like a professional minor league team, like affiliated baseball. I love the colors on it too. I like them a little bit more than that red and blue that we looked at. You know, it's very easy to compare this to the Braves, and I've done it a couple times already, but red and blue is a color that we see a lot in baseball, especially with a white trim. It's just very, very common, but seeing this kind of, you know, darker blue with this sort of lime green ring around the end, just very nice. You know, that has a more sort of modern, sleek look to it. I you know, think of the Seattle Seahawks that use this color, and I love it. It's just very crisp, and there's a little bit more like freshness to it, and to me it just feels a little bit more modern, and this looks like something that, again, could be like an affiliated baseball compared to what we've seen so far. But for my number 1 pick, I had to go with the Winchester Royals. This is so cool. You can see similarities between this and the FR in front Royal if we look at them side to side. And this is what I mean when I say, you know, unfinished and still hand-drawn. This is finished. It has straight lines and proper ratio and angles to it, and it's incredible. The colors are phenomenal here. You know, it says R for Royals with this crown coming off the side. I've seen this before. I've mentioned it with teams like the Kansas City Monarchs have done something like this, and I think it looks so clean. I love it. I'm a fan. The more I look at this, the more I'm just absolutely in love with this. I mean, Winchester, I'd be really proud of themselves. This is a banger of a logo. This works well as a standalone logo, works well as a cap insignia. I'd be very proud to be from Winchester and rock a cap with this logo on it. This is so clean. Love this. Love everything about this. Well done, Winchester. This is a sick logo. This is one of the coolest logos that I've seen in a minute, actually. Well, guys, that's going to do it for another league ranking video. This was a fun, simple, quick one that, again, I got to shout out to MiLB Hatbilly. Check out his channel, I'll link it in the description. Be on the lookout for some more coming up. I've been getting comments for some other specific leagues. Put a lot of projects on my plate for leagues that I would love to discuss and rank and talk about and kind of highlight. And this was one that I was very happy to do. Kind of did it on the fly, on a whim today, and I loved it. This was a lot of fun. So thank you as always. I would love to have you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please consider doing that. Helps this channel, helps me continue to create content like this and highlight some of these really cool baseball leagues. So appreciate you guys as always. Catch you in the next video. Thank you.